I picked some people that I shouldn't have picked. I picked a few people that I shouldn't have picked. And
neocons?
Yeah, neocons.
We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
Hey fam, welcome back to One and Done. It's been a minute. I had to pay some bills, but I'm back. And hell, a lot of stuff has happened since I've been away. But one of the great things that's happened, which we thought it may never happen, is that Donald Trump appeared on Joe Rogan. Now, in the first 24 hours, they got something like 23 to 24 million viewers, averaging around about 1 million viewers per hour. Now, Trump is really gaining momentum and a lot of people are jumping on board. Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Elon Musk, and now it looks like even Joe Rogan's jumping on board. Now, we're going to have a look at a couple of aspects of the interview that Joe Rogan had. It was extremely interesting. I encourage you to go watch it. I did watch the whole 3 hours. I thought Joe Rogan was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but Trump's a master. He knows how to work in all types of environments and he knows how to make people feel comfortable. Well, at least the ones he wants to feel comfortable. So we're going to take a little look at that interview, but we're also going to have a look at how the campaign is running for both Kamala and for Donald. And there's a couple of people that we wouldn't expect that seem to be aligning and agreeing with Trump. Is Trump the unifier in 2024? Without delay, let's find out. Roll that tape.
The biggest thing was just that first moment of being in this hallowed, it was really a hallowed place to me. It was surreal. It was beyond, to me, that was the experience. It was a surreal experience. And then with time, that wears off. With time, it becomes, your place where you stay. And I was doing a lot of, I had two things that I really focused on: governing the country and survival. Because from the moment I won, before I got to office, all of a sudden, they came down. Nobody has ever been treated that way. And you see that. You see where in the Washington Post very early on, they said, well, now the impeachment stuff starts. And it did. It literally started from the beginning. So I had survival and run the nation. I had a combination. Most people don't have the survival. They get in.
And that's the incredible part about Trump. He had so many distractions, yet he was able to achieve so much. Did he achieve everything he set out to achieve? No, I don't think he did. Having said that, he achieved a lot more than I think anyone else would have. He's definitely a mover and shaker. He's definitely a patriot. And the left is absolutely beside themselves. They are losing their minds because Trump seems to be a unifier here in 2024. Now check this out.
And I'm going to ask if I could, all of my friends to come up from the Arab and Muslim part of Michigan. And I'd like to give them a big hand because they're going to vote for us and help us win.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, Michiganders. As the president said, we just had a positive meeting with President Trump. We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war. We are supporting Donald Trump because he promised to end war in the Middle East and Ukraine. The bloodshed has to stop all over the world, and I think this man can make that happen. I personally believe that God saved his life twice for a reason. I believe personally that God has saved his life for a reason, which is to save the lives of others. We support Donald J. Trump for his commitment to promoting family values and protecting our children's well-being, especially when it comes to curriculums and schools. We as Muslims support this man because we believe that he will be a president for all Americans, embracing every race, color, and religion. We are with President Trump because we want a strong border. And we agree with President Trump that anyone who wants to come to this country is welcome, but he has to do that through legal pathway. We are with President Trump because we want a strong economy. Don't you want that? We are with President Trump to make America great again through peace and justice for all. Lastly, Michiganders, I have 2 predictions for you for the next 6 months. Are you ready? Number 1, the Detroit Lions will win the Super Bowl. Ready for the second prediction? I can't hear you. Are you ready? The second prediction is Donald J. Trump will be the 47th president of the United States of America. Okay? All right, God bless you all and God bless America.
So yeah, that was hugely unifying, and it's hard to believe. I could never understand why Muslims were voting for Democrats in the first place. They really don't have any aligning beliefs, ideologies. It may be a kickback from the days when Bush was in office and he had all of those wars happening in the Middle East. But all the name calling about Trump, calling him Hitler, calling him a fascist, people just aren't buying it. Now, here's a great video from John Fetterman.
You've said that Trump has a special connection with the people of
100%.
Pennsylvania. Why? What is it that you see that he appeals to in your state?
There's a difference between not understanding, but also acknowledging that it exists. And anybody spends time driving around and you can see the intensity. It's astonishing. I was doing an event in Indiana County, very, very red, and there was a superstore of Trump stuff, and it was 100 feet long, and it was dozens of T-shirts and hats and bumper stickers and all kinds of, I mean, it's like, where does this all come from? I mean, it was almost like Taylor Swift kind of swag. It's like of everything. It wasn't just a sign. It's the kinds of thing that has taken on its own life on that. And it's like something very special exists there. And that doesn't mean that I admire it. It's just like, it's real. And now you have, Musk is now joining him. I mean, to a lot of people, I mean, that's like, hey, that's Tony Stark. And that's the world's richest guy. And he's obviously and undeniably, he's a brilliant guy. And he's saying, hey, that's my guy for president. That's going to really matter. You know, I'll never forget. I live directly across the street from the steel mill. And we were doing an event there for Clinton. And I asked the union president, I'm like, hey, where we are on Trump? And he's like, yeah, probably half or 60%, two-thirds are voting for him. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then immediately there was a guy getting off, and he had a truck, and he had truck nuts on it. You know what truck nuts are?
Do I look like I know what truck nuts are?
It's balls hung on the hitch of a truck, and he honked and he was like, "Go Trump," as he drove by, and it's like, hey, we're in trouble, and it's undeniable.
Now, I thought people that voted for John Fetterman were absolutely nuts because he had huge issues. Good to see that he's come through all of those issues, and he does seem to have a lot of common sense. Well, at least in these instances. And he's right. Trump has got huge support all across the nation, particularly in Pennsylvania. And someone must be fudging the books. There's no way on earth this should be this close. Kamala Harris should be getting blown out of the water. And I think that's actually what's happening because there are some dodgy things happening in the polls, I believe. Now, the Democrats aren't going to like that little spiel from John Fetterman because Kamala Harris's campaign has gone off the rails. The honeymoon period's over. The joy has all but gone. Now, Kamala Harris is so unrelatable. She has to use all these stars like Megan Thee Stallion, Beyonce, and they have to promote it like they're going to do a concert. So people go and fill the arena because they're expecting Beyonce to perform. And there's no surprise why Kamala receives these sorts of reactions.
We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
There's the joy. Yep, the joy's definitely gone. She should actually slap on some music and sway side to side for 30 odd minutes just to calm down the crowd. Now, she's been taking a couple of plays out of Biden's playbook. She's calling Trump Hitler. I don't know if you remember, but earlier in the campaign, she wasn't trying all of that stuff. It was all about joy. It was about positivity. But she hasn't been able to answer any questions, and it's left a hollow feeling in her whole campaign. Like I said before, the joy's completely gone, and so the rhetoric has gone up. She's calling Trump, I don't know if she's called him Hitler, but she's definitely called him a fascist. But people aren't buying into it. They've been calling him this for 9 years, and we do have 4 years of Trump presidency to look back on, and he's probably going to govern similar in his second term, but he would also have the learnings of the first term, and I'm sure he's going to improve on his first term. He knows where the bones are buried, and sticks and stones and even bullets don't seem to hurt him.
So the rhetoric is also that you're Hitler, and that in order to stop Hitler, you have to do whatever it takes.
That was okay, yeah.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, you're hearing this now. Kamala compared you to, said your love of Hitler yesterday.
Kamala's a very low IQ person. She's a very low IQ. I'm for taking tests, too. I think anybody that runs for president they should give them tests. And it's not an age thing. It's not based. If you look back on history, 70s and 80s, some of your greatest leaders in the world history, long-time world history, they were in their 70s and their 80s. But I think you should take cognitive tests. I think they say it's unconstitutional. But
That's ridiculous.
I think Kamala should have a test because there's something missing. There's something wrong with her.
I don't think she needs to bother. I think we already know what the results would be. Now, here's the thing. Trump was loved by everybody, even when he was running, up to the time he was running for president. But when reality started to set in, people started to turn on him and call him all these nasty names. Even people on The View.
Donald Trump is a billionaire, a real estate mogul, and a television star. But does he really want to add president of the United States to his resume? A lot of people would like him to. Please, let's find out, and please welcome my friend, Donald Trump.
Very friendly. So there you have it. As you can see, hugs and kisses all around from all of the numpties on The View. Now, Trump is a wheeler and dealer, and if anyone's going to get things back on track, I'm sure it's him. He wants to strike deals, and he will use America's strength and make deals to create peace.
I got Macron of France. Good guy, like a friend of mine, but he's a wise guy. And he's a person that likes France, and he was going to tax our companies. I say, and I sent all the smartest guys. I sent Mnuchin, and they all failed me. And I said, I'll do it myself. And I called him. I said, Emmanuel, you're taxing American companies. We're not going to allow you to do that. Oh, Donald, I cannot do it. Nothing I could do. It's already been passed. I said, Emmanuel, if you do that, I'm going to put 100% tariff on your wines and champagnes that come into the United States, and you're going to regret that you ever did it. He said, Donald, please, that's not fair. Anyway, within about 2 minutes, he dropped the whole thing, and it was massive amounts of money against American companies. I have to protect American companies.
So why doesn't the Biden administration do this?
Because they're incompetent. They don't know how to talk.
Now let's wrap this video up. Trump is absolutely right. He nailed it. The Biden government is incompetent, and we can look at the exit of Afghanistan, and we can look at the cost of living, inflation. Everything has gone through the roof. Not only has it gone through the roof, look at the border crisis. I think this has been one of the most disastrous presidencies in history. Now think about all of the people that have started to jump on board with Trump. Things are really heading in the right direction. I think we're heading for a win. The country and the globe needs it. We don't want to be overconfident. We still need everybody to vote. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments and thoughts in the comment section. I'll jump in there as I normally do, and I'll catch you in the next video.